From 500 BCE to 200 CE, there was no shortage of states or city-states vying for power through conquest. However, none who attempted would match the expansion of the Roman Republic as it made its way to being an empire. Scholars and enthusiasts alike love to cite the Roman style of fighting or great leaders as being the reason Rome was able to do the impossible and conquer the known world. While great generals like Caesar and Scipio certainly played a role in Rome's expansion into one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, the real reason for Roman success is a much more foundational and storied tale. At the height of its power, the Roman Empire stretched from Spain to Persia and Egypt to Gibraltar, covering 2.3 million square miles of territory. Managing a bureaucracy to support such a vast amount of territory would be a Herculean task, but the Romans would be successful in holding on to their conquests for some time. Around 270 BCE, Roman influence had increased significantly following the capture of surrounding city-states and their introduction into the Roman Republic. There was a sort of sibling rivalry between the Hellenic colonies and states of Greece and the Romans, as the Romans had a sense of superiority over the Greeks, yet shared much in common with them culturally and militarily. Many powerful Greek states had existed and even thrived up to this point. Most notably, the great Macedonian Empire had receded from its own impressive borders just a few decades earlier. The large and wealthy trading empire of Carthage took notice of the swift and aggressive growth of the Roman Republic, and in 264 BCE, the two would fight for influence over Sicily. This conflict would become the First Punic War and Rome's first major victory in conquest. Rome had an advantage that many other kingdoms and empires of the time simply did not. Rome had massive amounts of fertile land for agriculture. The land in Latium and central Italy was fantastic for farming and other agriculture. Places like Greece, however, were much more mountainous and were unable to produce anywhere near the amount of food that the Roman Republic could. The Greek states would often import large amounts of their food from places like Egypt and Anatolia. Rome's superpower, however, was that it simply had more fighting men than any other state could support, financially or physically. If the Romans lost 100,000 men, they would simply muster 100,000 more. If the Carthaginians or Macedonians lost 100,000 men, it would be much harder to replace those soldiers. Rome also supported its soldiers, people, and public welfare through systems designed with negative feedback loops in which monetary gains from its conquests would pay for its armies, public programs, and future campaigns. This allowed the Romans to recover from conflicts relatively quickly and launch campaigns in quick succession compared to other states of the time. The last thing that made the Roman legion so difficult to defeat or handle was the Roman usage of local auxiliary troops. Roman generals learned quickly that the key to efficient and dominant warfare was adaptation of styles of fighting, tactics, and equipment from their enemies and allies.